Welcome to Bond SCX. You're listening to Lance, the bargain stock bounty hunter. That's what I like to call myself. Week 4 plays of the week, January 24th through 28th coming up. We start off with a disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, nor am I advising anyone to spend their money. This is only for educational purposes and only my opinion. Any money spent is at the individual's own discretion and not due to any information from me. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, I do want to show something. I want to start off with a chart and showing the Nasdaq. And so last week, you saw the market turn Thursday and Friday down pretty fast. A lot of stocks got pulled out of, a lot of prices got devalued. You saw the market just go into a downturn. And so what I want to show starting out is that many of the stocks that I call out, many of the stocks that are very popular trade on the Nasdaq. Many of them trade on the Dow, and some of them trade on the S&P 500. And so I want to show the Nasdaq because most of the ones that I call out, most of the stocks that I'm scanning for, majority of them are on the Nasdaq. And so looking back over the course of time, you can kind of see what has been happening with the Nasdaq. And so I'm going to kind of scan back, and I'm going back to last year, actually the year before, when we had a bit of a market dip. And that's where, that's what we call the last crash, the stock market crash. So that's going back into 2019, and you see where the market was around February. You see how it came down from February until about March 26. About a month and a half, you saw a strong downturn to the market. And that's what we're calling, well, that's what they call the stock market crash. And that was during the COVID time, right? That's where COVID and everything was starting to take shape, take form, and everything, all the news was coming out about COVID. And so you kind of look at that trend, and if you look at SMA again as a trend line I like to look at, you see how the market turned and went against the SMA, pulled below, pulled back and stayed strong. And so you see going all the way back from that March of 2019, everything in the Nasdaq has been above the SMA. You see that. You see this green line? Everything's above. So one of the things that I want to make everyone aware of is that what happened last week is we see everything come back down from this green line. So this is the SMA. You see the same kind of situation that happened back in March. Again, February, March timeframe. So you look at the same time frame, you got Omicron virus, you got all that conversation coming about again, makes you wonder if we're into another crash. Could be, could not be. I don't think we're going into another crash. So I think if we're going to see a little bit of a crash, typically is going to be about 24 to 30%, 40% range. You look here, we're probably at like a 12% range of potential. And so you see the market come down, again, below this EMA here, which is where we don't want to see the price action. We want to see the price action above. That will bring it back up. And so one of the things I wanted to show and share is that, so when I run my cake values, like I normally do on stocks, you can see how much above the Nasdaq was above the cake range. So this is dangerous territory, right? We don't want to see it above this. We like to see it in it, and we definitely want to see it above the SMA. You see with this downturn here, you've got a bit of a correction that they call it, and you see the next manipulated value or range that it has not been covered. It's about the 13,063 range. So if it comes down to that range, potentially by Friday, it could stay supported by this level of 13,598, I'm sorry. Could stay supported here and then bounce back up. Could come down and bounce back up here. So I would say the Nasdaq is probably going to continue to turn down this week. Zoom out where we can see a little better. Continue to turn down this week. Like I said, it could be supported here. It falls below here. The next support line is about here. And then you're looking at about a recovery or a turnaround into a bullish pattern somewhere around this February 10th, maybe at the earliest February 3rd. Before we get started, I wanted to definitely share that with everyone that the market is in a downturn. So anyone that does options, options is a great opportunity to make money playing against the market. That's a great situation to be in if you're in the options game. So, but right now I'm talking about stocks. And so one of the things I want to share and show is that any of the stocks I'm going to show, you'll be able to see easily just looking here what index it trades on. And so just keep in mind that most of the stocks that I will show, you'll see the Nasdaq. So keep in mind that if they trade on the Nasdaq's pushing down. 9 times out of 10, the stock that's on that index will also push down as well. All right. So let's get started with the first call out for this week. And again, another thing that we saw last week in week 3, we saw a lot of trends of 6, which is again was another telltale sign that something didn't seem right. Typically, we don't see that many 6 trends that pull out every week. So when you see that, that's a sign that something may turn around. Doesn't look good. You shouldn't see that many trending strong because it shows that there's some manipulation in the market. Therefore, they're trying to get you to buy in so that they can pull out. So looking at the best plays for this week, I got Barrick Gold pulled out as a strong potential trade this week. True value at 19.29. It's about 5 cents over true value at 19.34 current price. Trending at a 4. So let's put up Barrick Gold, see what I'm seeing there for potential trade. So always scanning out, looking at a 1 year, 1 day. So looking at a 1 year, 1 day, you can see how Barrick Gold has been moving through the cake. It's also been very, very much underneath this SMA. So I try to pull above, pull down. You can see back in August last year, it got resisted by the SMA. So it wanted to pull up, it got resisted, pushed down. You see another resistance here of the SMA on November 18th. So really what we want to see is a strong cross into the SMA, but we don't really see that with Barrick Gold. So one of the things I like to show here is that with Barrick Gold starting to trend again as a 4, starting to trend up. You can kind of see the EMA just kind of almost in almost like a bundle. They go in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. You don't see a strong movement of the EMAs opening up like we see until right in here. And so look at that MACD. The MACD is kind of flat. So one of the things I wanted to explain here, see a large manipulation in Barrick Gold to try to push it above the SMA, but you see it got rejected here, right? So I think there's going to be a steady knock on the SMA, and eventually it's going to cross at some point, right? And so it can only get so low before that cross is just bound to happen. So one of the things I would like to show is that this manipulation bar, I feel, will be covered. I think it'll come back down, cover here, and then come back up. So I think the potential for Barrick Gold in this week, 1885 is a great price range for me. I feel like that's an opportunity that I could get in and possibly go from 1885 and sell out at true value, about 2.38%. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Barrick Gold this week at 1885. All right. Next on the list for this week, pulled out the scan, was TRSI. So I called out TRSI last week as a day trade. Very good opportunity for another day trade. It is 39 cents on sale with a true value of $11.59. Current price of $11.20. Trending at a 2, still at a good trend. And so I'm going to pull up the chart on TRSI. Again, looking at a year, 1 day. I'm going to pull in here. Again, we saw a very strong day trading pattern here that it's hard to resist not wanting to trade on this stock here. And so what we saw last week, obviously we didn't see these 4 bars. We knew coming in last week was moving here and wondering if it would get up above. And so it did push up against this, my projected line here, got resisted into the cake range, and now it looks like it may want to turn down. So you see pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, push down, push down. So you almost bank that it's going to push down again. And so MACD is up fairly high, which is a little bit concerning. So I'd expect a little bit of a retreat. I still think TRSI is at good value at 1042, kind of what I called out around that range last week. It still hasn't covered. It just covered this pretty much. Still has some room to cover here. Has not recovered this manipulation. So I would say 1042 is a good range to get into TRSI. If it does hit 1042, supports back up, even coming to true value, you're looking at 10%, which is pretty good for trading a week. At low, you're looking at probably 6%. So I don't think you can go wrong. I can go wrong with TSRI this week, another stock to trade as a show on the Nasdaq here. So you can just beware the Nasdaq's turning down. Beware that this is more than likely wanting to turn down as well. So it's got some room to retreat again down to 1043, 1042 price range. So I'm gonna go ahead and note mine down for to watch this one, make a plan to purchase at 1042. So where I like this one. All right, moving on to my next call out for the week. So ABSCI. ABSCI is a call out I wanted to make. It's a moving at a flat trend, but it is 59 cents on sale. So I want to show some potential here that I like on the charts. So $7.35 is its true value. Again, moving at a flat trend. So looking at ABSCI, and again, look, starting out a year out, see a tight cake range, which means there's a lot of manipulation in the stock. And you can see it used to be at 31.53 in August. Now it's been at a low of $6.12. So a lot of manipulation, a lot of push down in the stock. You see a kind of a fight to pull it back up, and then it got pushed back down by this lower cake band. And so I would say there's some potential here on the basis that what I'm seeing here is as low as the $6.12, starting to want to pull back up. You can see the MACD starting to want to open back up. You're seeing buyers want to slowly come back in. This is definitely a manipulation that has not been covered on the upside. And so as we see this come down, come up, come down, up, and you see a lot of push down. And so this is another one that trades on the Nasdaq. So be wary, right? So if this is trading on the Nasdaq is pushing down. I'd expect this one to come down a little. You start to see a little bit of a pull up, but you see Thursday and Friday when the Nasdaq was pushing down, see another little bit of a downtrend, and I would see opportunity for, you know, a quick sell. I would say looking at ABSCI at $6.41, $6.64. I'm sorry, in this range, $6.65. This range to come back and cover this, potentially come back and cover this. Even if it comes down from here to here, I don't think it'll come back and retreat down to this low. It could. If it comes back down to that low, I would expect it to go even lower. But what the MACD is showing here, I don't see that happening. So I would say $6.64, I would feel comfortable buying ABSCI, even for a turnaround of about 6%. And so definitely looking forward to this one. The other reason I'm liking this one is because this teal and this green EMA are getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. So it shows a projection out, you know, at best case, $7.35. I'm sorry, $7.44 on Friday. That's a best case scenario. And as little as $7.13. So I don't think you can go wrong with ABSCI. It's hit $7.88, $7.40. So $7.35, $7.44 is a good value range. So I'm going in at ABSCI. I'm going to be looking to watch this one come down some. I'm going to be going in at $6.64. So that's my price point for ABSCI. $6.64. That's where I like that one. All right. Next on the list for this week, Anaplan. Anaplan. Another long-term play potential. Called this one out last week. It's about $1.38 on sale. True value of $45.86. Moving in a flat trend, so it could go either way, obviously. And current price is $44.48. So looking at Anaplan this week, seeing the opportunities we have. Another one, well, this one doesn't trade on the Nasdaq, it trades on the New York Stock Exchange. And so we want to look at the potential here and the opportunities it presented. So last week coming into Anaplan, we knew it was below cake value. And we saw that the stock was wanting to kind of turn down slightly, but you see the SMA actually pulled up and actually bumped the trend that I had drawn of where it would project to go out in the future. So it actually showed a sign of a pull up, which is actually good. We want to see that in the SMA. And so look at the trend line here that I've drawn. Again, the projected trend line that on the trajectory that it's on. Just zooming in just slightly, a little bit more. SMA, I'm sorry, the MACD is very, very flat, very flat. You see the true value here of 45.94. It's below true value. The thing I don't like here is you see the teal and the green cross. It looks like it's going to cross the red. So you see the alligator's mouth all coming together and coming really close. And so that's not really good. And again, this is another potential downturn because of the market overall. But you do see a slight want to pull back up on the MACD. So if we scan out just a little bit more, it's pulled up, it's come flat. Now it's got pretty much either way to go. It could go up, it could go down. But look at the trajectory it's on, looking at where it's at. I would be willing to buy Anaplan. I'd like to see this one come back and get covered and bounce up. So looking at Anaplan around the 43.64 range. I think this is definitely a manipulation bar that needs to be covered, needs to be filled to come back up and pull back. So if it comes down to 43.64 range, you're looking at a potential by Friday, you're looking at estimated EMA, looking at 45.89 potentially to come back down, come back up. So it comes down, through the week and possibly come back up to 45.89. Again, all depends on when the market turns back up. It will play a big factor in where it comes out to be. So I'll play that this one's going to come down to 43.64, and then I'll be willing to buy that with a potential gain of 43.64 to even a 1.48% gain coming back to 44.91. So I'm going to go in on Anaplan at a 43.64 price point. 43.64. All right, next on the list, and I'm going down deep onto the list this week. And Netflix is the one that pops up. So if you watched the market any last week, Netflix had its earnings report, and they did not do what investors expected them to do or wanted them to do, and their price fell drastically. We'll see here in the charts how much, but Netflix is $63.56 on sale. It's trending at a -6, which is a bad trend. It's a strong trend down, as we'll see in the charts. True value of $461.06, and it's on a price point at $397.50. So I pulled this one out, and I want to show you why. There's some opportunity with Netflix that could present itself to me. So as I look at the stock of Netflix, again, looking out at a 1 year, 1 day chart, see a lot of consistent, strong movement in and out the cake here. So a lot of manipulation to pull it out. And so it's been overvalued probably since September. In September, it's been overvalued, and you saw just recently it crossed SMA on the downside. So this is a bad sign. Cross back into the cake range, another bad sign. It crossed the teal and the green cross back in December 31st, right before the new year. So another bad sign. So Netflix has been doomed for a little while. So I think it's a great opportunity to look at kind of a bounce back. And so scanning out on Netflix, and when we look at its recovery range, here's where the price is now. Here's where it was Thursday, Friday. Here's where it was at the end of the market Friday. And so look at its last recovery point, and then going way back into early of 2020. And so looks like it can come down to 370, 369. So that's this last manipulation that has not been covered. And so I believe it could come down some more. And I would definitely expect to be a lot of manipulation on this stock Monday morning for sure, even going into Tuesday. But I think there's some opportunity for this stock to make a turn of events back in the right direction. So look at previous downturn in Netflix. It had this angle, and so looking at a recovery range of where it recovered, I would say Netflix in about second week in in February, I would expect it to make a pullback. And so a lot of volume pulled out in this market on Friday, looking at 58 million shares. A lot of shares got pulled out on this day. So I would say they traded this stock pretty heavily based on the earnings report that came out late Thursday, I believe. And so definitely scared their investors enough that they devalue the stock. And on top of that, another one that trades on the Nasdaq, right? So again, it's Nasdaq's pushing down or pulling down, Netflix is pulling down with it. Matter of fact, Netflix is probably so big on the Nasdaq that it probably contributed to the Nasdaq pulling down. So a lot of things happening here. And so I would expect investors to see the value in Netflix as I do. You're looking again at a 461 true value range. So it's a lot of room to make some money here. Again, I think an opportunity to invest in Netflix for a pullback. So even if this week it does not come all the way back up to any kind of range close to 460, I definitely feel like it come back up into the range of anywhere in the 400 range for sure this week. So it's at 397.50. I'm waiting for Netflix to fall to 371.34. That's my price point. I'm willing to buy it. If it falls below that, watch out for the 469 range. If it falls below that, Lord help us. So 371.34 is where I'm willing to buy Netflix. Good opportunity here. Again, I don't see this staying down very long at all. Next on the list is AMD. AMD I called out, I believe, week 1 or week 2. Had some potential. AMD is a great stock, has been a good stock for a long time, great company. It's $11.57 on sale, trending at a -8, so a terrible trend. I'll show you in the charts why I think it's a good opportunity this week. Price point currently is $118.81. So looking at AMD, one of the things I wanted to pull out in this one, it is getting close to earnings call. So a lot of stocks that were good, and we'll go back real quick. A lot of stocks that were good coming into this week. A lot of these are on earning call week. Anything can happen during earnings call. I would be very, very cautious. I'm always cautious, and I don't buy into companies during earning calls days. Holding them overnight is very dangerous. Buying them in the morning if they have a pre-market earnings call is very dangerous. So I do not fool with companies when they're having their earnings calls. So a lot of these companies are having earnings calls this week. So that's why I didn't have a lot of great picks that are moving strong this week just because of that fact. So going back to AMD chart, I called it out a couple weeks ago, saw a lot of manipulation here, some opportunity to get in for a quick day trade, but I definitely didn't want to invest in AMD until it came down, and I was pretty certain that AMD was going to come down, and it is. I believe calling it out around this range here, 119 is where I felt comfortable buying AMD. There's also some opportunity here. I could have looked at buying AMD, but I didn't like buying above the cake, of course. Looking at the last manipulation point, 119, it's fallen below that one. So it means it's covered this range here. So all this has been covered now by that. The next manipulation bar you see here is 116.53, but another stock that trades on the Nasdaq. And so you look for that stock to come down even more. So one of the things you can look at is the SMA getting across at the cake value range. This is coming down. So I would almost be more comfortable buying the stock around this lower band range, around 112. So come down, cover here. Again, the Nasdaq's going to continue to push down. You can see the MACD pushing down strong here. I'd almost expect by the time the Nasdaq wants to turn around, AMD will be around this range of 112. And that's when it'd be a great time to scoop the stock up, watch it turn back around, kind of move into the cake. Maybe not move as strong outside the cake, but move into the cake and kind of have a steady movement here. So you can see the true value here, 130, and how much it is undervalued here. So I'm going out on AMD. I'm going to feel comfortable buying AMD this week at a price point of $112 even. come down to that range, I'm looking to buy AMD with a good opportunity to make a quick turnaround and make some money real quick. Again, it's coming up on earnings call in end of this month, so I would not advise myself to do any investments in AMD right now. I want to wait till after this time period and then look to buy in it and get some good value there. And then next, last on my list is Facebook. Another stock that's been beat up again by the Nasdaq, and but very, very much on sale. I called this one out again, I believe the same week I called AMD out a couple weeks back. It's on sale for $16.18 with a true value of $319.35. Current price point, $303.17. So when I go to the charts on Facebook, great opportunity. Another one that's actually on sale. Again, looking at a 1 year, 1 day. And almost a similar pattern you see with AMD. It's up very high above the cake range. One of the things I want to show, let me scan out real quick, go back. Facebook has been above the SMA. Again, like to look at this SMA, the screen line, as a trend line. I almost fell below it here, pulled back and battled back. So it's been very much above the SMA, very much high above the SMA. Now you see it falling back down. So it's all in and it's crossed the SMA, right? So it's come back down. So this is a sign that it's going to trend down. And you can kind of see that it's going to continue to trend down. One of the things I like to look at is its low point here. Low point here got lower, like it's probably going to get even lower. And so, but you see how it battles back, comes down low, battles back, comes down low, battles back, right? And so you can kind of see this trend line wanting to make a turn for the worse. You already see the EMAs turning down, the alligator's mouth is turning down. This EMA is falling below, MACD is down, earnings reports coming up in what, a week or two. So definitely don't see this one turning back up anytime soon. But I do think in this week, if it falls down to 289.78, that's when I'm wanting to get in because I think you can turn around and make some money there. So 289.78 is where I'm looking to buy Facebook. And the reason why I called out 289.78 is because here's my cake band. If it's falling below here, it's covered this mark. The next mark it's got to cover is here. You got another mark here. So this range is where I feel like Facebook is going to fall this week. But even if it falls at 289.78, you look at a recovery range here. I feel like it can come back into bullish mode in probably February. That's banking on, potential earnings call that could bring it back down. I definitely feel like it come back in this range. So at 289.78, at 302 range, come back in the 300s is very much possible in this week. So I'm going to go with Facebook only if and only if it falls down to, which I think it will, fall down to the 289.78 range. 289.78 is where I am willing to buy Facebook if it comes down to that range. All right. So if I can get this off my screen here. All right, so as far as the call outs this week, some great opportunities. Definitely be wary of earnings reports. There are some stocks that are moving pretty strong. Kellogg's, PVG, General Mills. but be wary that they are on earnings report week, and could be very dangerous. And so look out for some more videos. I've got some tips and tricks videos I want to put out. Got a myths and mysteries of the stock market episodes I want to start soon. And so be looking forward to some more videos from Bond SCX. This is Lance. Talk to you soon.